was morning, and the new sun sparkled gold across the ripples of a gentle sea. A mile from shore, a fishing boat chummed the water, and the word for breakfast flock flashed through the air, till a crowd of 1,000 seagulls came to dodge and fight for bits of food. It was another busy day beginning. But way off, alone, out by himself, beyond boat and shore, Jonathan Livingston Seagull was practicing. 100 feet in the sky, he lowered his webbed feet, lifted his beak, and strained to hold a painful, hard-twisting curve through his wings. The curve meant that he would fly slowly, and now he slowed until the wind was a whisper in his face, until the ocean stood still beneath him. He narrowed his eyes in fierce concentration, held his breath, forced one single more inch, and fell off, curve. Then his feathers ruffled, he stalled. Seagulls, as you know, never falter, never stall. To stall in the air is for them disgrace, and it is dishonor. But Jonathan Livingston Seagull, unashamed, stretching his wings again in that trembling, hard curve, slowing, and stalling once more, was no ordinary bird. The life that we are living is a practice. Every moment of what we do in life, we are actually practicing to become perfect. Because somewhere deep down, we know that we are perfect. We come from a perfect place. We come from something absolute. And our longing is to connect with that absolute. Human journey is a way of connecting to that perfection using the limited resources that we are given. Our minds, our desires, our limited bodies. To see the human phenomenon as a journey towards that perfection is what gives it meaning. If you take away this idea, for whatever reason, if you are able to completely forget that you are here to become perfect, not in a sense that there is some external perfection that others can see and recognize that you are moving towards, but an internal perfection, a moment of sublime connection with yourself. If you take away this one simple idea that in everything you're doing, you're searching for that one perfect moment when you can say, I have arrived. I know, I am. Then your entire journey of life, everything you're doing, everything you've ever done, everything you want to do in life has no meaning. And how many people live their lives without knowing anything about this inner longing for perfection? They keep striving for it. They keep pushing towards it. But because they don't know that they are practicing, they don't come back to those activities. They keep hopping from one activity to another, one desire to another, one job to another, in search of meaning, in search of purpose, without realizing that it is not this skipping and hopping from one thing to another that will lead to a place of contentment, a place of joy, but really becoming good at what you're doing. It does not matter what you are doing. Richard Bach was a pilot. Now, it seems like there is no connection whatsoever between spirituality, meditation, and flying. But in Jonathan Livingston Seagull, we can see there's great connection because you are there. You are practicing how to fly. You are learning about your body. You're learning about your mind. There is no such activity where your mind is not involved. Whether you're cooking, whether you're a mechanic, or you're a builder, writer, or doing what you regard as a very boring, dull, mundane, routine activity, even there your mind is involved. And where the mind is involved, the learning is happening. And whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, you are practicing to get to that place of perfection. There is no life. There is no life form that isn't searching for this perfection. He gives us one of the deepest, most profound of spiritual insights using the story of a seagull and his own adventures in flying. He would have seen that a seagull can be so much more than what it is. Just like he can be so much more than what he is. And how much more human beings can be than what they are. Where are they stuck? What is it that is holding them back? Why are they unable to break through their limitations? Why do they spend their lives complaining about things instead of rising above them? Once in a while, an individual breaks free. He sees something from inside. He longs for some deep inner vision that only he can see. On the outside, he's just another normal human being. But on the inside, he's anything but. In his book, The Illusions, Richard Bach talks about one mechanic who is actually a messiah, who is an enlightened being. But he has chosen not to teach. He has decided to be a mechanic. Now, there's an interesting story where this Messiah is talking to the people. He's telling them that they can be something more. They can be free at this very moment, if only they can choose. And people naturally are unable to accept this. How can you say that we are free? It is easy for you to say. And he said to them, within each of us lies the power of our consent to health and to sickness, to riches and to poverty, to freedom and to slavery. It is we who control these and not another. A mill worker spoke and said, easy words for you, master, for you are guided as we are not, and need not toil as we toil. A man has to work for his living in this world. The master answered and said, once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept silently over them all, young and old, rich and poor, good and evil. The current going its own way, knowing only its own crystal self. Each creature in its own manner clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life, and resisting the current, what each had learned from birth. But one creature said at last, I am tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go, and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom. The other creatures laughed and said, fool, let go, and that current you worship will throw you tumbled and smashed across the rocks, and you will die quicker than boredom. But the one heeded them not, and taking a breath did let go, and at once was tumbled and smashed by the current across the rocks. Yet in time, as the creature refused to cling again, the current lifted him free from the bottom, and he was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream, to whom he was a stranger, cried, see, a miracle! A creature like ourselves, yet he flies. See the Messiah, come to save us all. And the one carried in the current said, I am no more Messiah than you. The river delights to lift us free, if only we dare let go. Our true work is this voyage, this adventure. Jonathan Livingston Seagull is about this adventure. It's an adventure of one limited creature of existence attaining perfection, using its own limited mind, using its own limited body, just by knowing that the way to perfection is through courage. It is courage that separates one from another. It is courage that lets you break away from the habit of clinging that you call your life.